How are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good, good. You feel if you've settled down some after all that, trying to figure out how to get your camera working and all that.
So the funny thing is, right when we got off, there's a little switch on top of the camera. When I moved it, it worked.
Oh wow. Okay. Who would have
Yeah, I was
thought,
like, what
right?
is this? And then when I moved it, I'm like, well, the little red thing is not coming out anymore. Um, but it was coming out a little blurry. So I was like, let me just stick to the phone
Yeah, yeah. Maybe next time, maybe next episode we do together. Yeah.
for sure.
So how do you say your name exactly? Rocio? Rocio?
Correct, Rocio.
Rocio.
I just
Well,
rolled my R, but
yeah, yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, of course, of course. Did you get to train today? I see like there's a in the background. I don't, is that a virtual background or are you at a gym right now?
Oh no, this is our gym. This is where I work out from. This is
Okay.
my sponsors and partner.
Awesome, awesome. How did you, well, I guess we should start just in general. How did you get into lifting, working out and competing?
So I've been working out for probably like 15, 16 years now.
Hmm.
I started like around when I was 18 or so. So I've been working out for a while. Competing, I competed 10 years ago,
Hmm.
and this year was my comeback for
Okay.
10 years because my last show was in 2015.
So what made you stop competing? I mean, 10 years is a long time.
At that time, I was really young and it's very
Hmm.
expensive. The sport is very expensive. I did have a lot of sponsors back then, and I do have now, but it
Hmm.
still gets very pricey. I was working three jobs to be able to afford the sport. So I took a break from it and I thought about it. If I ever go back, it's going to be when I'm more stable and I could afford the
Hmm.
actual sport.
Yeah, so just recently, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know, you might not know who Carlos Thomas is. He's a friend of mine, and he's an open bodybuilder, up and coming. So people expected, a lot from him, and he just recently retired from competing, and he was just saying that the sponsorships kind of somewhat cover the competing costs, but in reality, like his outside work outside of bodybuilding is what sponsors his life, And so
Correct.
he was just saying that, he's still going to do things in bodybuilding, but competing is just the reward, financial reward for what he was putting in, which just wasn't worth it for him right now at this point.
Hmm.
So yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. Did so you at what point did you decide, okay, well, like now I'm gonna come back? Did something make you like think that? Like, did you see somebody compete? Did you see a show you wanted to do, or was that always the plan? You were planning to come back.
Honestly, it was from a breakup. It was from a
Oh,
long-term
okay.
relationship. And then I kind of like spiraled off and I stopped working out for a while, for like a year.
Hmm.
And I'm like, what other motivation it is than to get back on stage, to get back at it. So I went
Yeah.
from not working out for a whole year that I just kind of took off to just going in and going hard at it. And then I was just like, what better time than the 10-year mark?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's why I was like, perfect timing.
yeah, that's interesting because a lot of times when I speak to people, it's and they do come back, it's always like something happened in their life and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna dive fully into, this competitive thing again. And they usually do very well because they're so like focused, Do you feel like you
Correct.
were you were very focused, in your comeback?
I just needed like a change in life.
Hmm.
And I was working at a club and I met my coach that I have now.
Hmm.
And he told me like, well, you could go ahead and come work out with us and it'll be
Yeah.
free. And I told him, well, I'm thinking of doing bodybuilding. And he's like, well, let's do it. Like, if that's what you want to
Hmm.
do. Let's go for it. And we did. And we just kind of went for it.
Yeah, yeah. So which show did you compete recently at?
And so the last one I did was the high roller here in Vegas, the high roller royale.
Okay. And is that the one? So I'm looking at like I'm also checking out your Instagram and I'm looking, you see you got a second place finish
Correct.
at a qualify. Is that the same the show that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the last one I did. Before
Hmm.
that, I did the Iron Games, which is the one I had taken first in. and I
Mm-hmm.
took the
Mm-hmm.
overall right before the week prior.
So you took an overall, you took a first, and then the second here, right? That's
Correct.
essentially okay. Okay.
So
I
pretty
mean
much
that.
the last one, I just did it because everybody's like, you already got first. That's what you wanted. Why are
Uh-huh.
you doing another show? But I'm like, well, it's a local show, and Sandy Williams was gonna be there as the head judge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I would love her feedback. And that's pretty much why I went for it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, sometimes you need that, sometimes you need judges that have seen a lot of bodies to be able to give you like some feedback on where you can grow. Did she tell you anything specific, like what like where you would need to improve or what they're looking for in you?
So the crazy thing is, back in, I believe it was like in February this year or January, there was a
Mm-hmm.
seminar that they had here at the, where was that one at? I don't remember. Anywho, they had a seminar here, and I
Mm-hmm.
went, and that's when I was thinking of competing again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Fit Model was coming out. And I'm like, huh, like what is Fit Model? And then I saw that it was pretty much bikini when I competed in bikini back in the day. So
Mm-hmm.
I asked her, I'm like, what do you think? I'm trying to get back. It's been many years. I have no idea how the bodybuilding world is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And what she suggested, she's like, well, you're very small framed. She's like, pretty much was telling me like my bottom half was a kind of bikini and my top was more fit model. So she
Mm-hmm.
told me, try going for fit model,
Mm-hmm.
just open and then try a natural bikini show and see how you do. So I did do that. I did a show back to back from one day to the next. And fit model, I got third place. And for the natural bikini, I got second.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
I just continued with fit model
yeah,
at that point.
you said you continue with the fit model at that point?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So now, so now you're switching over to Fit Model, you think? Completely?
No. So
Okay. Okay.
I pretty much went all the way. At the beginning, it was, all the judges were telling me different things just because it's a whole new division. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard. Everybody kept telling me to get bigger, and just my conditioning. So I did do that. And then when I won, they told me still to get bigger. And then when I went again, the last show with Sandy, she told me to go either smaller for fit model or jump up to bikini. She told me I was a little too dense.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me you're more bikini, just grow your upper body.
Yeah, that's so like just looking at your pictures and just judging because I do some coaching myself. Just looking at the pictures, like your biggest detriment is just your frame, like the fact that you have like a petite frame,
Correct.
especially in the upper body. So and I think like once you bring that up, I think you'll be very, very competitive, like extremely competitive. Um, so yeah, like that's so. Do you have plans on? Do you have like a plan on how you're gonna get this growth in the upper body? Do you have like a system set up already for
So
improvement?
I do have a nutrition coach that I just jumped on with, Adam Atkinson from
Mm-hmm.
CU Leaner. We just started working together about 7 weeks now. I
Mm-hmm.
got him right before we did the Iron Games. I had been seeing him in shows, and then he pretty much was like, let's try to do fit model. But once we saw what Sandy said, he's like, okay, it's up to you. So I
Mm-hmm.
told him like I love bikini. Bikini has been my passion from the posing. I love the posing, the bikini suit as it is. I love it too. Fit model. I know a lot of people see it as girls who don't have muscle. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I was trying to be like, no, we do have muscle type of thing. But then they told me I was too big. So I was like, okay, maybe I should jump and just go with bikini. It was my good from
Yeah.
the beginning. So that's what we're aiming for next year.
Yeah, the fit model thing is really interesting because I've seen one of my friends, she lives in the Philippines, Julia Pine. She switched once Fit Model came out, she switched over and she's doing very well. But I'm curious to know like what's it going to morph into because I'm sure from competing, 10 years ago to competing now, bikini has changed quite a bit. And so like most of these divisions change quite a bit over time. I'm curious to know like where Fit Model is going to be within the next, 5 years. Is it still going to be the same or what are they going to do? Because if Fit Model starts growing, it's gonna look like Bikini is now. So then,
Correct.
what do we do? So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of curious. What do you think?
I think they're going softer, and I feel like they did fit model for the same reason because bikini was getting a little too big.
Hmm.
I've been following it a bit, and I have seen they're kind of going a little softer than what they usually go. And
Yeah.
that was the reason I didn't want to go to bikini because I saw the girls that are hitting the Olympia, and I'm like, there's no way I could get that away, especially as a
Yeah.
natural athlete. I was just, and that's why I decided with Fit Model. But
Hmm.
the with the feedback she gave me, I'm considering. I'm like, maybe I do have a chance, especially if they are going the softer route. I feel like maybe I could do well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you've decided Bikini is the way to go for you.
That's what the goal is for next year. And then once I
Right.
did think about it, I'm like, well, I did place better in bikini initially than I did in Fit Model.
Yeah. Yeah. I think your legs is what really shows up as far as like Bikini is concerned.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
very
did notice. My
yeah.
legs started there was lines on there, which is I know
Hmm.
that's something that they didn't want. They had one of the judges did tell me in between the shows because I did do 6 shows within 2 months. And
Hmm.
one of those shows, they told me like, just watch out with your hamstrings because if you work them out a little too much, you're gonna start getting that tie-in, and we don't want to see a tie-in in Fit Model. So I pretty much stopped working out my legs for a whole month. We were trying to get my glutes down too, which we
Hmm.
did, but it was still too dense for them.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. Yeah. It's a genetic thing. It's
For sure.
you have it genetically. It's going to be very hard to get rid of it, which is, if you're going for a division that wants that, that's amazing. But if you're trying to cut that off, that's very hard to do.
And for a girl, you know how it is. It's like once you have your glutes, you don't want your glutes to go away. So that
Oh,
was really hard for me to take that feedback in. And that's when I'm like, I can't do Fit Model. Like, I do not want to get any smaller as it is. I'm petite.
yeah.
And it's just something I'm not willing to lose any more muscle in that division.
Right. I mean, you work so hard to put the muscle on. It's tough to just let it go like that. I've had a hard time too. Once I kind of decided, I'm just gonna do coaching, I was like, well, I'm gonna downsize some. And it was mentally, it was kind of difficult to downsize because it's just, you work so hard to get the look and the muscle that you have. It's tough mentally to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let this muscle go. So I completely understand,
Correct.
where you're coming from. How is your training? So now that you're going to be in bikini, I'm assuming you're going to try to like grow your upper body, probably grow somewhat your lower
So
body. What does it
pretty
look like?
much, they were pretty much it was my delts. He
Hmm.
told me work on your delts, bring on like round your shoulders. That was the feedback just to grow mostly on that. I've been lifting very heavy ever since just because I have surgery coming up on the first and I won't be able to work out for 6 weeks. And that's
Okay.
one of the things that I had to think about it too. I'm like, how, how long would I want to grow for? My coach did tell me, he's like, no, I think you could actually, even if you take those 6 weeks off, as long as you get back on plan and you don't go crazy
Hmm.
with food, you should be pretty good to compete next year, hopefully in the summer. So we are aiming for a May show just to get my
Hmm.
feet back in and see how I do in bikini. That's the plan for now
So you're having surgery when?
on the 1st, December 1st on Monday.
December 1st, and you're gonna
Mhm.
be 6 weeks out. And so like I mean you still have plenty of months to grow and
Mhm.
get better. It's not, you still have a long time before May. And so I think it's very doable. Very
Yeah, that's
doable.
pretty much what my coach told me because I told him, I'm like, no, I kind of want to take like a year off. Like the girls are so big right now. And he's like,
Hmm.
no, you should be fine. It's like, just try it out and let's see how we do and what the
Yeah.
judges say. And then, so the goal is doing about 2 shows, one in May and then probably another one. And then try to hit a national show later in the summer and
Yeah. You
see
want to
what goes
know
from there.
Yeah, you want to know kind of where you line up because some so there's a slight problem that I have with taking a long time off is because so one benefit that you have by competing a little bit more is you kind of know where you are among the other girls. So it's like when you compete again in May, wherever you land, you're gonna have an idea, okay, well, like I'm this far away or like, whatever. If you wait a whole year, that's a whole year where you're not gonna know, you're gonna be in limbo. You're
Correct.
not gonna know where you stand. And so who knows? All these girls are also training and getting better. So it's hard to know, where you're gonna end
Correct.
up. So
And
yeah, I
not
think
just that, the look, we don't know what look they're gonna be going for. So maybe if they do go the softer route, I'll be just perfect for it. So we
right.
just never know. We just gotta gamble it and try it out
Yeah, bikini is
at that point.
one of those divisions that it's really tricky. It's really, really tricky because every year it seems like um, they don't like they change things up a little bit. So,
Yeah,
so the person that won, like, I'll just keep it on the professional level, but the person that won the Olympia, one year might be fifth the next year, and so there
exactly.
huge differences. I mean, Maureen won a few years ago, and then she lost like the Arnold, then she lost the Olympia, and now she comes back and wins the Olympia again. So like what a huge like turnaround, but it just kind of shows you
Fair.
that they're looking for different things, different years.
I mean, I feel like it has to do with the judges too, like who is the judge of the show.
Hmm. I agree.
Because I feel like if you go to Texas, those girls are solid out there. So, and I've noticed, I'm like, should I go compete over there as a fit model? But then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're trying to aim for that pro card. And if we're trying to do that, we're trying to hit the Olympia. And if that's the case, we're going to go with those type of judges.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You got to be strategic. That's the thing. Like
Hmm.
at those levels, it's like it's not just working out, building yourself up. It's also just picking the right shows and so forth. You got to be
Correct.
strategic. So,
Yeah,
there.
that's what I started to notice that. It's like, okay, you got to go with the judges with what they like
Hmm.
because all the judges I've noticed they're very, very different.
Yeah. Do you keep up with like what goes on the pro stage with bikini? Like, what did you think about
Mm,
the Olympia? I don't know if you kept up
I
with it.
I kind of a little bit, not too much, because since I
Hmm.
wasn't going into bikini, I was following more the fit model part of it. But
I
I
see. Okay.
did see a lot of the podcast and everybody that was talking about it.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't think Maureen was gonna win. I didn't
Hmm.
think, but then like if that's the look they're going for, that's when I'm like, okay, it's a little softer. I'm like, that's more obtainable to something I could reach.
Hmm.
Then Laura Lee, I was like, man, her glutes are insane. Like, it's just the depth of everything. I was like, that's gonna be very hard for me to be competitive on something like that.
Yeah.
But then I saw like the Olympia amateur there. I did notice the girls were very, very hard. The ones that did place and the ones that got their pro card. So that's why I'm like, should I go more for that type of look or
Hmm.
going for the pro card? But right now, it's just going to be strategic on what my coach wants to do and see what route we go.
Yeah. To your point, different judges, right? Different judges judge
Correct.
um the like the girls that wanted the harder look
Hmm.
versus versus Maureen. These are going to be different judges, so they're looking for different things. I do wonder if the whole fit model situation and just kind of the atmosphere of fit model is now like affected a little bit the Olympia on the pro stage there because I personally like the way Maureen looks as far as like my personal idea of what bikini champion should
Bikini
look
should
like.
be correct.
Right.
I agree with it too.
But I did not like you. I did not think she was gonna win. I honestly wasn't
And, yeah,
sure. I wasn't sure if they would even give her a top three, just because I thought they would go for a much more Laura Lee style look.
yeah,
I know Laura Lee was not happy, about that because she was expecting a much better, outcome.
placing from
Um,
it.
yeah, but it's just the way it goes. Yeah, but I do think it's more
Actually,
attainable. Yeah.
I actually saw her right after she stepped off for prejudging.
Mm,
I bumped into her and I took a picture with her. But I'm like, to me, it was like a fan moment. I'm like, Miss
yeah,
Bikini
yeah,
Olympia right here, and I bumped
yeah.
into her type of thing. So that was That was kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I met her last year at the Arnold. So
Um,
she was very nice. Very nice girl. And you know, I wish her the best, but I mean, if they're going a different direction, it might be hard for her, you know, unless she softens up some, you know, we'll see. We'll see what she does next year, you know.
I mean, but I feel like the look she brought in was pretty good though, for
Hmm.
being a softer look compared to her looks in the past. I feel like she's always very hard. And I feel like she came in
Yeah.
softer, so I felt like her placing was a little weird just because I
Yeah.
felt like some of the other girls that placed on the higher than her were a lot harder than her. And then I
Yeah,
saw who won, so it was a little, I don't know, but I feel like it was stage presence had to do with it a lot.
right. And I think that's kind of the thing. Well, even in like men's open, which I'm more, you know, familiar with on how to judge, you know, the look is one thing, but that's just one aspect of it. Like condition, muscle mass, like all these things are like variables. I mean, stage presence and stage presence is so important in bikini. You know, we don't know if that played a major factor in it. The posing played a factor in it. Like all these things play a factor on who, you know, who won or who placed where. And sometimes we just look at the physiques and we're like, oh, this one's harder, this one's softer.
Hmm.
Why? Like it doesn't make sense. But we, you know, we might not be taking everything into account, you know. So
Correct. Because I feel like with bikini, it's pretty much like a beauty pageant with muscle. So it's like you
right.
have to have your hair has to be there, your tan has to be there, the posing. And I feel like um Maureen, that's where she killed it. She killed the posing. She just looked super confident. She looked like she owned the stage. So that I could definitely give it up to her.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy she won just because of the look she brought.
Mhm. Good
And
for
I feel
you.
like, yeah, so for me,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's something more achievable for me.
Hmm.
And that kind of gave me more like, okay, we could do this. Like, let's do bikini. Like, let's give it a go.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. I mean, all the whole bodybuilding scene is becoming more and more exciting. Within the last few years, I feel like bodybuilding has really jumped up in excitement. I just saw that they're moving the Olympia to a
Oh, to the
different
palm.
location. Yeah, so we'll see
Hmm.
what that brings, you know. Where do
And I
you,
like it because it's away from the strip. I live here in Vegas.
okay,
So
you're
I
in
actually
Vegas.
do like that. Like Resort World, it's just a lot of walking everywhere, and then the weather plays a big part of it too. So the Palms is a little bit smaller, but I feel like it will do good. And I know people wanted it at the Orleans,
Hmm.
and it's pretty close from the Orleans to Palms. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it might do well there. We'll have to see.
Is it better for like traffic and things
For
like
traffic,
that?
for sure.
Yeah.
Traffic, for sure.
I just remember when they had it in Orlando. I'm familiar with Florida a lot because my wife's from Florida, so we go there a lot. And I just know that when they had it in Orlando, they really people really liked the fact that there was a lot less traffic than, you know, than in Vegas. And so if this move helps with the traffic, I think that'll be a big, you know, a big deal for
Y-
people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like on the other side of the strip. It's just away from it.
Hmm.
So I feel like it should help with that, but I feel like Vegas is just kind of a little too expensive. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
people wanted Orlando for that reason because they're like,
Yes.
oh, it's
Yes.
just too expensive to do it in Vegas. For me, it's perfect because I live here.
Right.
But
You
I know
just
for people
walk
who are
there.
traveling,
Yeah.
for people who are traveling and everything, it's a little tougher for them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun. So you said that you're training like heavy, pretty heavy now?
Right now, at the moment, yes, just because I know I won't be able to work out for a while, which is
Hmm.
deep down, it's killing me. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Not working out for 6 weeks. I'm gonna drive myself crazy probably. Just because I got so just into it where I was just working out like crazy this whole year
Hmm.
that just going from that to not working out at all, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a
Yeah.
little tough, but we'll manage through it.
You have to you know, you have to make sure you know, I work in the medical field. You have to make sure that you do not push yourself too early, you know, and
Sure.
I don't know what kind of surgery you're having and I won't ask, um but if it and whatever it is, it's like if you go try to push yourself a little too early, you might cause more harm, you know, than good, and then
Yeah.
you might be
Yeah.
another 6 weeks, and then that, you know, that's how it
I,
kind of tends to happen. So
I did see. Well, I pretty much how can I say, I'm very precautious and stuff. So I am
Hmm.
gonna take the time they're giving me. I'm not trying to push anything just because I want to fully recover. So when I am ready, we're just gonna go hard and just go back in it.
Yeah.
And I just want to be in a good set of, good state of mind. And it's the holidays time, so I'm gonna be visiting my family. So
Mm,
it should help just
right.
distract me from not being able to work out
Yeah. What's your favorite body part to train?
to train. So I want to say legs.
Legs.
Legs
Okay.
probably.
Is
It
there a
used to
specific?
be upper body, weirdly, back in the day. It used
Uh-huh.
to be upper body. And I want to say like my back, I love doing back and biceps.
Uh-huh.
That was my first thing I ever worked out. I think I was like 9 years old, and my brothers had like dumbbells by the bed, and they used to
Yeah.
just right pump it up.
Right.
And I remember one time I'm like, huh, and I went and they're trying it. And from there, I really like working out biceps when I was little.
Yeah. Well,
So
you might have to get back to that love that you had, to get your upper body, a little
for
bit bigger.
sure.
Yeah.
But then once I saw my legs, when I started actually, because I actually did not like working out legs whatsoever at the beginning. It was very tough for me I think it's mostly like the walking part of it, just
Hmm.
when you're sore and you just can't really move too much. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But now I'm the opposite. I know most girls like to work their glutes out. I don't mind it, but I rather just work on my legs.
Yeah. If I go for a while, like if I miss legs for a couple of weeks, let's just say it happens, for whatever reason, coming back to train legs is like I kind of hate it because it's
Oh,
just I have no desire to do it. But once I kind of get into a routine of training legs, it's like I enjoy it. I look forward to it. So I think it's just a matter of just getting into the habit and the grind and loving the grind, and then you kind of start like getting that exciting feeling like to go train legs.
to me, it's mostly like the stairs at this moment.
Yeah.
It's a struggle going up my stairs. And during the whole prep, I felt like I was sore every single day from like one body part or another. But I was just sore the whole time. And just going up the stairs before going to bed, I'm like, okay, let me hold on to my rail. That's when I was like I just love torturing myself because I keep doing it and I like it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite leg exercise then out of your leg day?
I like doing lunges.
Lunges.
I do like doing
Okay.
lunges.
Okay. Okay.
Think but that's something like I always did since before when I was in my old prep
Do you do,
and
are you doing them weighted or just body
weighted.
lunge? Weighted.
Weighted.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, when I was doing for fit model that I stopped working out legs, that's why I
Uh,
felt some type of way because I'm like, oh man, I can't work out legs. And when
mhm.
I told my coach, I'm like, we have to stop because they told me legs, they're getting those lines already. And the more conditioning I
Mhm.
was getting, even though I wasn't working out, the lines were just coming out. And that's when
Gotcha.
once I saw my videos and like the footage from my stage, I was like, oh, that's what I look like. It's sometimes you see yourself every day that you don't see these things. And when I
Yeah.
saw my footage, I was like, okay, I agree. It is true. My legs are not fit model. The lines are starting to come out, and on stage, it's you could really tell with the tan, which I wasn't thinking of it too much until I saw that
Mhm.
footage.
Yeah, it's interesting how that is, right? Because you see yourself all the time, sometimes you don't notice, which is
Mhm.
we kind of like go back to that conversation about whether to have a coach or not have a coach. There's been a lot of that talk recently, especially in like the open bodybuilding with Keon Pierce leaving his coach, Nick Walker, and all these guys like leaving coaches, getting new coaches, and so some of them coaching themselves. I just feel like if you don't necessarily have a coach, you should at least have someone putting eyes on you and giving you a perspective that you don't have, because it's very hard to see yourself in the correct light, so to speak. So you need somebody
I
else there.
totally agree. So most of my prep, I did my own nutrition.
Hmm.
And when I did the Olympia amateur, I had family over. I was just very stressed, overwhelmed. And I remember just seeing myself and I'm like, oh my goodness, do I need more carbs? Like I feel too small. And it was just messing with my head. And that's when I'm like, okay, I want to do another show before the season ends. And that's when I'm like, I need to get the stress off because the day
Yeah.
of like a few days before my show, I just blew up from the stress and I
Yeah.
retained a lot of water, my legs, everything. And that's when I'm like, I can't be doing this if I'm spending all this money and putting all this work to it to just blow up right before stage. So that's when I messaged Adam and I told him like, oh, I
Mhm.
had met him previously at my first show and I liked what he was doing. And I was like, you know what? Let me contact him and see if he's willing to work with me like this late. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. I would love to
Mhm.
work with you. And
Yeah.
the, the stress that left my body was unbelievable. I told my sisters, I'm like, man, does it make a difference? Like, I
Yeah.
just gave everything to him. And I'm like, do your magic. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I
Right.
don't feel like I don't put many ifs and buts when somebody tells me this is the plan, this is what you're doing,
Right.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he did give me options like, oh, do you want to change something? Do you want to do this? What were you doing before? Type of thing, and it just helped me so much, and it showed. Even one of my friends that went to go see me at that show where I did the overall, she told me, "It's like, girl, you look so confident that day. Like when
Hmm.
you got on stage, I was like, man, like she looks different this time." And
Hmm.
I was like, I just wasn't stressing, just doing everything on my own. Um, I was doing the gym with a different coach, with my coach from here.
Hmm.
But the nutrition part, once that was taken over and I had like no more stress about workouts or my nutrition, I just felt great and it made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, the what it does for your mind is amazing, and of course that reflects in your physique because it sucks to work so hard for 12 to 16 weeks, maybe even longer depending on your prep. If you're counting improvement season, even longer than that, and to do all of that and then come to a show and within in the peak week just kind of have everything be ruined because whatever your stress or maybe not, eating something you shouldn't have, whatever the case may be. And so, like, it's nice to have someone that can just take care of that. And all you have to do is just follow the plan. That's it.
Ex- Exactly. And a lot of people told me like, no, like you know what you're doing, like you did great your first shows and everything. I'm like, it's it's like the body dysmorphia, and that's what people
Hmm.
don't understand. Like people who are not in this world in the bodybuilding, they don't see that. You see yourself and you start thinking all these things,
Right.
and you could look great and you could look perfect to just go on stage, but you don't see it. You're like, I'm not lean enough. Like I need to lose weight here, or maybe I'm too big
Hmm.
here, and it's just something that messes with your mind,
Right.
just being so deep in prep. And people
The,
don't get that, people who are not in this world. So it's
yeah,
like, no,
there's
like that's why pros have coaches.
exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to say that that's exactly like what I was about to say. There's a reason why high level athletes have coaches, not just in bodybuilding, but in every sport. I mean, like, do you think Derek Lunsford needs, Chris to coach him? Like, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a while. Or do you think Mike Tyson needed a coach to teach him how to punch? He knows all that. It's not just about the physical aspect. It's the mind, it's everything. There's a reason why these
Exactly.
high level athletes who know what they're doing still have coaches. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't. If you didn't need them, they wouldn't. So yeah.
And that's when I'm like, what is a few extra $100 to do if I'm already spending all this money and putting all this
Right.
work into it? I was like, no, if I want to realistically get my pro card, I do have to work with people. And
Yeah.
that's when, because at the beginning, I was doing it more for fun. When I
Hmm.
first started it, it was just like, let me see what my body could do. It's been a long time. Like, let's get back in shape. But then once I started placing well, and then I'm like, well, you know what? I could probably do this. And then the
Yeah.
judges are like, you're good on stage. Like, you have what it takes. Like, your body, it's there. You just got to work on these little things. And once you're hearing these things, you're like, hey, maybe I could do it. And I got qualified for nationals right off the bat. So I'm like,
Right.
let's do this. Let's go for this pro card. I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure what division to go to. And now it took a whole season, but it's like, I'm like, hey, there's people who take years to
Sure.
even decide or think, like, hey, do I want to get a pro card? Because the stage is not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah,
We do
that's
all
true.
these things for 2 little minutes that we're up on stage, or 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. How is so we talked about training, we talked about nutrition. What about like posing? Have you you know, like how do you deal with posing? Are you naturally a good poser? Is it take a while for you to get into like a good rhythm, during your prep to be at that
So it's
level?
kind of funny because when I got back into it, did my same posing I did 10 years ago for bikini because it's the same posing for fit model. And throughout these 10 years that I didn't compete, every now and then I see myself in the mirror and I walk and do it. But I never, at that time, I wasn't even thinking of competing. It was just one of those things that came as a natural habit.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because I work in the nightlife industry, and a lot
Hmm.
of the girls will be like, "Man, how do you pose so nice, like in the mirror all the time, like when we take selfies for the club or whatever?"
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm like, "Well, it's because I post kind of like when I post to compete, I kind of, at that time, I did have a coach. It was an IFBB Pro for bikini
Uh-huh.
back in my hometown in Texas, and I kind of stuck with that, and I kind of practiced that. My
Hmm.
posing was terrible at the beginning, though. Once and it wasn't even much of the posing. It was just how I say, like, once you see your videos and you see what you're doing, you're like, oh my goodness, what was I doing up there? But you don't see it because obviously you don't have a mirror like how you practice.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started noticing the little things like, oh, I was like, the first show I did when I came back to it, I blacked out. I
Mm.
I went on there. It was one of those things I don't remember seeing anything. I I came off stage and I told the girls like, "Hey, was there music playing?" They're like, "Yeah," and I'm like I didn't even hear the music. It was one of those things that I literally blacked out the first show.
Hmm.
And it was one of those that not till I saw all this footage, I was like, "What was I doing?" But it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. It's like, "Oh my goodness, I need to practice more."
Yeah.
And that's when I started just kind of putting more practice, more practice. I didn't get a coach till right before the Olympia Amateur on my
Hmm.
fourth show of the season. And I worked with one of the girls locally here from Physique,
Hmm.
Kim, and she kind of tweaked me a little bit. Then I did some more posing with Adam,
Hmm.
and he thought one of the girls, she's also a pro, and but she does bikini. But she's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, you're pretty good." Like,
Hmm.
she's like, "Yeah, like I don't know." Like, she's like, "It's just a little tweaking here and there." And then I started just practicing more. So what really helped me was I'm a little shy when it comes to the gym, so I work out usually in the women's area. When I
Uh-huh.
go to the actual gym, here it's pretty private, so here I could just
Hmm.
work out, and there's not many people here. But there, what I started doing was I would do my sets. I do like 3 sets, and then after those sets, I pose in the mirror in front. And then at the beginning was a little awkward because it's a lot of females and they're just kind of looking at you like, who does she think she is? Like doing all these things. And then I was like, no, this is what I need. I need people to
Hmm.
see me because at the end of the day, those judges are going to be seeing me too, and all eyes are on you. So you
Right.
got to get rid of that stage fright.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what helped me. I was just doing my posing every time I would finish my sets, and I was doing that through my whole workout. And I
Yeah.
feel like that helped me so much. Just, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
That's I always hit shots in the middle of my workouts, like it just randomly, just not to be obnoxious around other people or anything, but if the scene is right and there's not crazy amount of people around me, I'll hit some shots in the mirrors, and just to kind of just make sure I still can, do the poses. I never want to lose that, and it's fun. It's fun to hit shots in the middle of
Hmm.
workouts, and so it's an exciting thing. I'm surprised though that you have such stage fright because you said you work in the nightlife industry. I would have thought you would have like no stage fright, and so and you're
No.
saying, go ahead. Uh-huh.
So in one of the clubs I was working, I was doing cashiering and I was in
Mhm.
HR.
Oh,
And
I
then,
see.
yeah, and then from there, I jumped into bottle service at another
Gotcha.
nightlife.
But
But
still, mhm.
but I was still more like the quiet one. I'd be kind of, oh
Right.
wait, just a little when it comes to that, it's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I feel like once I went back to like to bottle service, it kind of helped me. It's weird
Mhm.
because I dress very sexy and everything, so people think I'm just like just out there.
Hmm.
But once stage is so different, it's like once those lights hit you, and you just hear all the noise of everybody just kind of like yelling and screaming your number, and it just kind of hits you a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I guess you are like on stage, it is you and only you up there at that
exactly,
moment and no one else. And all those people are looking only at you. So
yeah.
I see what you mean. It is a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, for when that time I blacked out the first time, that's when I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is real. That's when
Hmm.
it really hit me. Then the next day I did bikini
Yeah.
and I just started practicing in the back my posing, which I didn't do the first time. And I felt like
Hmm.
that helped me with my stage presence too. Where
Yeah.
the first time I was a little shy and I'm like, oh my goodness, I know everybody's posing back there, but I just felt like awkward. It was my first show. So it was one
Hmm.
of those things that I just kind of sat in the background type of thing and just had my legs up.
Yeah.
And when I did bikini the following day, I was like, no, like I gotta start practicing, even if it's just by myself here. I was just doing it
Right.
over and over again. And I feel like it did come out on
Hmm.
stage that day. Because
Yeah.
when I saw my video, I was like, it was day and night. From fit model, you could tell the difference to the following day when I did bikini. I just like, okay, that was me. Okay, I look good. So it
That's
kind of
funny.
gave me that confidence boost for sure.
Yeah, the posing is so important. I mean, it is so important. Recently, you have way more people that only do posing. Like they only coach posing, nothing else, because I think people are starting to realize that, posing can make or break you. You might have a great
For sure.
physique. You might have a great physique, but if you can't display it, then it's useless. And so
Correct.
for sure.
And one of the shows I did where I placed second, the girl that took first, I saw her posing and right off the bat, I'm like, there's no way. Like her
Yeah.
posing was just I was like shocked. I was like, she's taking it. We all said it like
Yeah.
it was me and another girl that took third. And we both said it. She's taking it. Like her stage presence was just flawless. And
Yeah.
I'm very cool with her now. And I told her, I'm like, girl, your posing is just like you're great up on stage. Just the
Yeah.
her presence that she does, she just flows so naturally. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it's all practice.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's people that I've seen that come up on stage, and I don't particularly think they're any different or better than anyone else that I've seen. But then as soon as they open up and show their physique by posing well, and it makes
Hmm.
huge difference. They look completely different. They look completely
Hmm.
different. And
That
so,
is very true.
yeah, very captivating when they can do that. And so, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, once you have the whole combination going, and if
Hmm.
you really know how to put yourself on stage out there like that, it just makes the biggest difference for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
going back to what we said, like that's why Maureen took it. She just
Hmm.
flowed that day on stage. She looked great.
Yeah.
She looked amazing, and that's why she took it.
Yeah, I think her presence is what clinched it for her. I think that was the difference. Physiques we can go back and forth, but her presence is unmatched. So
For sure.
yeah.
It was her day.
Yeah, yeah.
For
Well, Lucia, I appreciate you coming on. I had a great time. Is if somebody wanted to contact you for more podcasts or just anything else, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
so they could probably on Instagram. I'm
Okay.
pretty much on there a lot. It's my name, Rocio
Okay.
Duarte, double I. Um, or they could
Perfect.
always email me as well,
Okay.
which will be Rocio Duarte1234 at gmail.com.
Perfect. And guys, I'm going to link everything at the bottom here to make it easy for you. And Rosie, I'm very appreciative of your time. I hope you have a very successful improvement season and then competitive year next year. I'm sure we're going to catch up again. So, but you have
For
a,
sure. Hopefully with a pro card.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'll have it
Yeah.
right here next to me.
Yeah. First interview you as a amateur, then interview as a pro. That's the
There you go.
goal.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's the goal right
Let's do
there.
it. All right. Well, thank you. Have a great night, okay? Take
Thank you.
care.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.